understand what are your expectations for tonight, I want you to please let's engage. Talk to me. What are your expectations for tonight? Hello, people. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me see your hand. Let me know you can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. We can hear you, madam.
Olabimpe
Awuba just speaking.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, let's engage. I want to know, what was it like for you yesterday? What are your takeaways? Drop your comments in the chat room, and also let me know what are your expectations for tonight. Yesterday was quite a bomb. It was an eye-opener. I was relearning everything all over again, even though I've been in this room before. But you know, every time you sit under Team Dima Nedum, you are in for a great transformative experience. Yes, Lawrence, I got to know passion is not enough. You are very right. Passion is not enough in this business. Okay, thank you. I'm waiting for more comments. It was an eye-opener. You are so right. It's always an eye-opener. Thank you for sharing. And what are your expectations for tonight? What are your expectations? Oh, you missed yesterday, no problem, not to worry. You can always watch it over. We're going to share the Zoom link, not the Zoom link, sorry, the YouTube link, so that you can go back and watch it again. Yes, it's more than passion, age, or marriage length. That's right. What are your expectations? I've not seen your expectations. I see your learnings. I see your takeaway. Oh, you're going to learn a lot. Omfile Mohube. Great. Tell us where you are joining us from. Omfile. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. Forgive me. Okay, Felicia, you couldn't join yesterday. No problem. You are going to get a link to watch it from YouTube. Where are you joining us from? Practical tools. That's your takeaway. You expect to know how to build structure and become a better coach. That's right. And can assure you, you will go with much more than that. It was a wonderful experience, Otitiola. Expectation is get more knowledgeable about the training, please. Oh, definitely. I can guarantee you that the unveiling of the blueprint, that's right. You are going to get that. Looking forward to skills and structure. Very good. Is to learn more about structure. That's Ernest Gava and methodologies. You are in the right hands. Trust me. You are in the right space. You are in the right hand. Yes. Yes, I want to hear, looking forward to skills and structure. Amos, thank you for sharing your heart with us. And I guarantee you, you are not going to be disappointed. Oh, okay. Omfile is from South Africa. Thank you for joining us from South Africa. You are welcome. You will get the link to the yesterday's presentation, and you'll be able to watch it over and over again. Yes. I'm still waiting for more. I'm getting.
Good afternoon.
Ayika, it's as if you're muted. Do you want to mute yourself? You're muted.
Okay, so right about now, I'm about to bring in Dima to take over, and we are ready for tonight's presentation. Dima, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are all ready and set for tonight's presentation.
Oh, wow. I thought I would just be sitting here and listening to you. So, all right. Thank you so much, Yinka, for starting this conversation. And I'm excited again to see all of us. And like she said, this is day 2 of the Mastering the Science and Art of Premarital Coaching. And I was just very, very enthusiastically reading what people put in the chat room. And someone said, oh, I'm looking forward to the unveiling of the blueprint. So I'm going to be starting today's conversation by sharing this, and I want you to listen to it, and that will kickstart our conversation. So once I start rolling it, if you can hear it clearly, please come to the chat room and let me know. If you're watching from YouTube, also just comment there. We have a team member there. I want to be sure that you can hear it correctly. All right.
What does it take for two people from different worlds to build a marriage that is joyful, strong, and lasting? Two individuals, different backgrounds, different experiences, different expectations. Yet, they come together with one goal: to build a life that works. The team at Start Your Marriage Right Academy were curious about this too. Surely, there must be a science to it. So they buried their heads into researches, interviewed couples, and observed the clients they work with. One thing was clear: a thriving marriage does not happen by chance. It is built intentionally. That intentional work gave birth to the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint. A simple, 3-pillar powerful framework that summarizes how an extraordinary marriage can be built by two ordinary people. Introducing Pillar 1 of the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint. Imagine if building a marriage was like building a house. It will begin with a strong foundation, right? In a flourishing marriage, that foundation is the individual. Age, achievement, or good intentions alone are not enough. A successful marriage begins with the individual. The individual who knows who they are, who has healed their emotional wounds, embraced their identity with its strengths and scars, and can show up as their authentic selves. When the spouses are in alignment with their core, they are willing to build deeper intimacy with each other. This is a formidable foundation the marriage can rest on. Is a marriage guaranteed to succeed because the individuals are whole, self-aware, and authentic? Can two good people have a difficult marriage? Our research shows that two good people can have a difficult marriage. So how then can two work together? It is unless they agree. And so the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint moves from their personal harmony to their mutual harmony. Introducing Pillar 2 of the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint. When the two individuals have compatible beliefs, aligned values, and life priorities in sync, their marriage success potential soars. As they can work together as a team, while learning to navigate their differences with compassion. Hence the second pillar of the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint is the flourishing team. Why do aligned couples still struggle in marriage? Is personal harmony and partner alignment not enough? Because even a secure identity, team, alignment, some couples will find daily life overwhelming. Introducing the third pillar of the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint, the flourishing systems. Systems enable ordinary couples achieve predictable results in their marriage that foster ease, coordination, and legacy. When couples design how to live their lives proactively, it reduces friction and the stress of making decisions on the go. Their systems create a structure that allows their partnership to thrive without getting bogged down by everyday challenges. Together, what it takes for two individuals from different backgrounds to enjoy a flourishing marriage are these 3 pillars. 1. The flourishing individual. 2. The flourishing team. 3. Their flourishing systems. Irrespective of tribe or religion, these pillars of the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint work together to ensure marriage success. Do you agree with the team at Start Your Marriage Right Academy? Can these 3 pillars help a couple build a successful marriage?
I know we're just introducing this, but just by listening to that and looking at those essentials. I'd like for you to come to the chat room and tell me, what are your curiosities? Do you think that if the two individuals are flourishing, if you're able to help them assess and build their flourishing team ideology and also set their methodology, what impact will it have on marriage? Whilst you're thinking about that, I want to invite Shijubumi Odunsi. Come and tell us, what has been your experience with this 3-pillar flourishing marriage blueprint, and how has it impacted the work you do, both with premarital and in marital cases? Shijubumi, can you hear me?
Welcome.
I can hold on a bit. Is it from my end? Because please, can you hear me? Okay, yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I can hear you. I said good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you, Coach Dima, for having me tonight. I've been a faith-based marriage counselor for more than a decade, and I've been doing this over and over. And to say that we have a counseling, but I found out that most of what we use and most of when I joined the marriage counseling team, we're handed over a manual that has some sets of topics, and that's what we use. If you come, regardless of where you come from, that's what we use. We just talk at these people, submission in marriage. We expect them that they are a new creature. All things have passed away. They are perfect, and they should come perfect as their Father is perfect. So we just start giving them those topics, teach them about love, teach them about submission. But I found out that few of them that were close to me, after about 6-8 months, they start having problems. So I got curious. What is it about this way we have been teaching them? What is wrong? And I found out that most of them, we just give blanket advice. We just give those teaching. Many of them are outdated. Many of them, even I know, they are no longer serving. They are no longer relevant in this age and time. But because that's the manual we have. So I got curious to say there should be much more than this. There should be much more than this. A lot of them, in fact, you even see it in the way they respond. They are not too enthusiastic about the teaching. Many of them just come because they see it as a prerequisite or an addendum for them to have the marriage ceremony, the joining in the church. So that's why most of them come. They are not really, they are not expectant. They have been there 1 or 2 classes like this.
Go ahead, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me now? I'm using another device.
Yeah, please, right about now, you should be wrapping up your thoughts.
Can you hear me?
With us. Yes, we can hear you,
Okay.
but I think there
So
is
I
an
was
issue
saying
with
that
your network.
over time, found out that. Can you hear now?
Yeah, you have 1 minute to wrap up. Yes, we can hear you, but it's time to wrap up.
So I was saying that I found out that there was no satisfaction. Many of them just come, they are not enthusiastic about it.
Okay, I think we would have to move on because there seems to be an issue with our network. Hopefully we get to hear her before the end of today, because I guess that she has network challenges. So if somebody is there, Shijubimi, thank you so much. Okay. I'll give you 1 minute to wrap up your thoughts so that we can move the conversation.
Okay, so when I stumbled on the Start Your Marriage Rights Academy, what I was, it was an answered prayer for me, because we started with intention that when these people come, what are their intentions? What do they have? A whole lot of things, the first pillar, the flourishing you, usually when they come, whatever it is about their personality and who they are, what is our problem? Just talk at them, we encourage them. But SYMR, the Flourishing Marriage Blueprints, brought us to know, okay, what is it about any trauma they have? What is it about their background? The tree of life, it was an answered prayer for me. And I've tried it on many of the couples that I've had to counsel thereafter, and everyone are like, wow, this is, it was as if you knew us before. By the time I do the report and I tell them this and this and this is the curriculum we are going to use, they are excited. And the fact that there are exercises for them to also do is not about me just talking at them. I get them to say, okay, these are the home play, go and do this, next class we'll talk about it. So it's really been very, very helpful. And the thing for me too, the revelation for me there is that as a faith-based counselor, most of those things in this curriculum of the Flourishing Marriage Blueprints has biblical praises. It has biblical basis and standing. So it's a very, very good one for me. From the flourishing you to the flourishing us to the flourishing system, everything about it. And I will not forget to say that preparing for a more enjoyable marriage, experience is the icing on the cake for me. As a faith-based marriage counselor, that's a topic we don't even want to dabble into, because I feel, okay, I'm not a sex therapist, but the marriage, Flourishing Marriage Blueprints introduced me and, gave me an enlightenment on how can we talk about this no-go area, the so-called no-go areas about sex for marriage. What is it about intimacy? So I'm really, really grateful. My practice and even my ministry in this marriage counseling thing has changed entirely since I knew about this blueprint. I've gone through it once, I'm on it again, and until I master this act of flourishing this marriage blueprint, I will not stop. So I want to say thank you to Team Nedum and Dinma for this, for this that you have done. We are so grateful. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shiju Bimi, for sharing your experience and for continuing to be an ambassador of the blueprint. So let's get the conversation moving. For those of you who missed yesterday, you will still get a chance to watch the replay. But yesterday, I started to introduce us to the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint, to say that when it comes to what makes marriage flourish, and if we recognize what flourishing means and look at it, even if you use the metaphor of a plant, you will see that there are different seasons that the plant goes through, but then it's able to weather those seasons and also enjoy the bloom. So when we're talking flourishing marriage, we're not saying that it's marriage where there will be no challenges, it's marriage where there will be no storms, but it is that there is a way to be that you can intentionally prepare your premarital clients to invite more joy into their lives and also build the skills and the tools that would help them to navigate whatever season of marriage that they are in. So we're going to start and jump into it. So the research shows that there are 3 essential pillars. What it takes to build a flourishing, enjoyable marriage, it's either people are learning this for the first time, they are coming to encounter it because they've tried to do marriage another way and they had issues, so they are now having to learn this, or over the years, because they keep evolving, they have to keep refining these 3 pillars. And what a beautiful time to erect these pillars than at the start of marriage. Because like we talked about yesterday, from the 2026 Future of Premarital Coaching Report in Africa, we did see that it was more important for people to be started on a good foundation than having to do recovery and therapy for them long after the damage has been done. So that is why it's important that we start this conversation. So I'm going to just go into it. So how do we deploy this in premarital? It starts from first helping both individuals to become more desirable, to become more flourishing. Then you help them to building a team-centered mindset. And then with your coaching strategies and your template, you're helping them also to co-create flexible family systems. So tonight, we will delve deeper into these 3 pillars and what is expected of you to do with them in premarital. So we're starting from the first pillar, which is the flourishing you, the flourishing individual. That when people come to you in premarital, you need to start first by helping them make sure that they are reconnected to the authentic self, and also helping them to ensure that they are getting into this marriage from a consent that is genuine. Because what we have found out in premarital is sometimes because people are standing or wearing one invisible mask or the other. Sometimes even people who claim to be in love may be loving the person for the wrong reason, but because that is suiting an unconscious part of them, they are lashing onto that relationship. Of course, sometimes people are giving defective consent because it's not their real self that is giving the consent. So imagine if somebody comes from a background where they were talked down at, where they felt that even without knowing consciously, their self-esteem has been dragged on the mud, and they are just in that place in their life where they are looking for love, just to validate that they are lovable for whatever experiences they've gone through. And then they stumble upon somebody who tells them you're beautiful or you're fine, or somebody who seemingly is encouraging. Because that person is feeling a void that they have, there is a tendency to lash onto that relationship and think that is the answer. But just the fact that somebody suits a traumatic part of a person does not necessarily mean that that person is right for them. So when you come into premarital, you don't come with the assumption that these people in their right senses chose this person. You want to help them get back to the authentic self and reconfirm their decision to get married. And so what do you do with them? You start off by helping them to check how their personal harmony is. What's the level of life satisfaction that this person has? Because oftentimes you would see in people, maybe they are not happy with how their lives are, or maybe their work or their educational path is not leading them through in their dream, or they just feel disconnected with life. And sometimes even culture does it. They see somebody that maybe is struggling with something, or a man who is not responsible, and they say, oh, you have to get married so that you'll be responsible. Or somebody is like, you know what, if I'm not getting my joy from these things, I might as well get married. But when they get married, they find out that marriage is not a therapy room. And even if they will still get married, it is best that they first of all elevate their sense of life satisfaction even before going to that marriage, so that they don't sabotage or bleed on somebody who did not hurt them. So you have to, when people come to you, it's not enough that they say, oh, want to get married. Do you have a system of assessing their marriage readiness, if these individuals are even ready for marriage? And when you take them through that and you see the gaps, then you can help them. What of their mental health? I'm a strong advocate that when people are getting married, they need a mental health evaluation, so that we are sure that we are not putting somebody's son or somebody's daughter into the role of, first, even in the beginning of the marriage, becoming a dumping ground or a therapist for their partner. So it starts from looking at their life satisfaction. Then you have to have tools that can help you check for trauma. I know that maybe if you come to social media, there's so much talk about trauma. And then some people are saying, oh, this is new age. I'm telling you, maybe in the times of our forefathers, in the times of our parents, they did not have the language trauma, but trauma is not a new thing. Some of the things that people categorize as generational cause could be generational trauma that has been passed from one generation to another, but it's just because they didn't have the skills to name it for what it is and also to heal it. So do you know that somebody, even when innocently, the parent, for example, needed to be working from another town. Maybe a parent is deployed to work from another town and it's not frequently, regularly, every day with the children. Are you aware that for some children, they put that in they store that in their brain as a sign of abandonment, and it also has some markers of maybe father wounds. But then you know that the man or the woman was doing it for good reasons, but it doesn't stop the interpretation that it leaves in the child. And if somebody has some marked emotional wounds of abandonment, rejection, injustice, humiliation, and all the likes, it impacts their life even when they don't know it. And that's why somebody can come into a marriage and a spouse says something that is seemingly innocent, but this person flips. It's not necessarily because of what the partner said, but more about what it triggered for the person. And because these things are subconscious, even the person overreacting does not even know why they are overreacting until there is a process that helps them connect the dots of who they were as a child, how life has impacted them with everything that happened in their childhood down to adolescence and also now to adulthood. So that if there are any significant markers of trauma, you, the premarital coach, should have simple psychometric and psychotherapeutic tools to help them even lift off the trauma. And when it is beyond what your skills can do, especially if the person maybe is in severe or extremely severe levels of depression or severe or extremely severe levels of anxiety, then you know that there might be need for clinical care. So I don't even know, have you ever been working with a premarital client and you had tools that helped you know, you see, where this person is at mentally, I may need to refer this person to a clinical psychologist or to a psychiatrist. Because if this person goes into this marriage with this level where they are in their mental health and how the trauma has marked their lives, they are going to be a walking, ticking time bomb. Then, of course, you help this person individually whilst in the premarital to even begin to recognize how when they arrived in their birth family has influenced them. I'm not sure anybody lines up to say, God, I want to be the firstborn, I want to be the lastborn, I want to be the only child. But what I can tell you is that it impacts how people do relationship. There are characteristics of a firstborn child, whether be it male or female, that if it's not brought to the person's awareness, could sabotage the potential of the relationship. And the person is doing it innocently. So you must be able to help them look back at their childhood, because one of the things that continues to mark an adult life, even unto death, is what is referred to as adverse childhood experiences, which are those significant emotional and mental experiences that happen to us as children between the ages of 0 to 18. So this is what the personal harmony checks will do. And then you have to, after they have seen, okay, this is where I am, these are my healthy patterns, these are my unhealthy patterns, okay, and you've helped them to work on the unhealthy patterns, it is now time for them to reconnect to their authentic self. Do you know that there are some people who come to you in premarital that think that what the best that they deserve is the worst? Some people come and they don't even know that they have lost their identity and they don't even see anything good in them. It is part of your work to help them reconnect back to their strengths so that they get to know who they are. But even strengths can be misused. And when we have those conversations in our premarital coaching framework, one of the resources that many people continue to talk about that was a significant aha moment for them was understanding how they could possibly be misusing their strengths. Somebody, for example, who honesty is a strength for, because honesty comes easily, the person does not even know that unconsciously they could be coming across as rude. They could be coming across as putting people down. They could be coming across as using terms that could make a person feel less of themselves. But to them, I'm just saying it the way it is. No, there is a way to use your strength that will hurt the people that you're with. And so that's an aha moment that they get. What about values? We know that values are the unconscious compass that directs a person's life. And it's interesting, and I'm asking you now, do you think that you really are doing a good work if two people from two different backgrounds, two different value systems are getting married and they don't know what makes Chidinma take the decision she takes or what makes Chinedu takes the decision it takes? There are going to be marital issues that your premarital clients will have that is just because they do not know each other's value system. Not because the devil is against them, but because they are ignorant of why this man likes the things he likes and why he does not like the things he likes. And that could have been settled in premarital if you help them identify their values. And it's not just enough to identify their values, it's also for them to be able, under your guidance, explain what those values mean to them. Because Mr. A could say that integrity is a value to him, and Mr. B could actually also name integrity. But when you have conversations with them, what integrity means to A may be slightly different from what it means to B. So you cannot assume that, oh, you know what integrity means. It's best to get them not only to identify it, but to define it so that they both know what drives them, such that they are able to do life together. And when you are done with helping them do the personal harmony checks, heal their trauma, if any, and begin to reconnect to the authentic self, you will now get them to articulate what we call the intimacy playbook. If you're here and you have worked with married couples, you will agree with me that second after people talking, oh, we're having communication issues, my partner does not understand me. Another thing you will hear is, my partner does not understand me, or we are disconnected. And that leads us to intimacy. And the fact that people expect their partners to build intimacy with them without, first of all, being vulnerable to reveal their deepest parts of them to their partner. And so what the intimacy playbook does is that you are able to guide these two people. First of all, you need to know that if you are dealing with shame, if there's some trauma in a person that has made them lose their sense of worth, they will not be authentic enough to open up their scandals, their scares, their successes, and even they will just be talking about the surface things. But you know that deep intimacy in marriage cannot just build on surface, right? So you have to, before people can become vulnerable, they have to first of all be self-aware. And that's the self-awareness you started taking them to know what has formed them, what has shaped them. They have to secondly be self-accepting. And when they are able to heal their trauma, their self-acceptance grows. They are not, so yes, they don't like what happened in their past if they had a trauma. But then now they know this is me. This is part of my story. Please, Dorcas, keep your audio muted. You're distracting me. I keep going back and forth to mute people. So what was I saying? When people are more self-aware and they become more self-accepting after you have helped them heal from whatever may be it that fills them with shame, that is when they can openly say, intimacy. And there are different parts of them. What makes them tick? What makes them run crazy? How they like people to relate with them? What are the different things that they are still struggling with? What is this? What is my dream list like? And everything that somebody who wants to get to know you should know about you. When you now help them create it, they not only know themselves better, but then their partner also knows them better. And hopefully, by the time you get to this point, you have helped them become more desirable. You have helped them become more flourishing. And one thing we do at the academy at this stage is now to tell them to reconfirm their decision to get married. Why do you want to get married? Why do you want to get married to this person? Because we are seeing that by this stage of the premarital, you have helped them remove the scales. You have helped them kind of step away from pretense to now the authentic self, so that they can see clearly and say, okay, I'm getting married now because this, not because I'm escaping a life I don't like, not because I'm trying to please another person. And I'm getting married to you because this. Okay, so that is what happens in this flourishing you. So an effective premarital coaching must first, underline that, must first be a journey of self-discovery. Before you even begin to talk to the people, oh, this is what you should do in marriage, this is what you must first start it as a way of the person coming back to themselves. Are you aware that some people who are after this flourishing you, some people say, I think what I need to focus on right now is to get to know myself better. I don't think I know who I am. I don't even know who has been living. I don't even know who has been showing up. And you see some people crying, some people saying, I've seen people postpone their wedding after flourishing you and even after flourishing us, to say, you know what, I'm not sure we know what we're getting into. We need to take a pause. Sometimes the family members are like, where is that premarital coach? After we have invited people, but then it is the people who reserve the right to choose what to do. Because your process must first lead to deeper self-awareness. It must then lead the persons individually to a deeper sense of self-acceptance, so that the real them can show forth. Are you aware that there are people who are married today that if they were able to go through the flourishing you, will not marry the people that they are married to, because it was not the authentic real them that committed to that marriage? That's why sometimes when you see people who are now married now start personal development, they now seem like, how did I get here? But then maybe societally they don't want to leave, or two, you see that they are so disconnected from their partner that they are just living as two roommates. Not because necessarily the partner is doing anything bad to them, but because they realize it's not me, that this is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not the kind of partnership I want to be in. But then they're already in there. So imagine if you have a structured, robust premarital that helps them. Because one of the reasons why people stay in abusive relationships is because they don't have sufficient agency to walk away. I've seen people who say, I saw the red flags. And you're wondering, why did you stay? Their moral muscle to leave was so low because they are not authentic. If you are not reconnected to your authentic self, you will not be confident. You will not be self-expressive, and you will stay in toxic, traumatizing relationships, because there is something about self-awareness, self-acceptance and self-authenticity that allows you, not because you're claiming to be perfect, but to choose where you want to be and to be confident enough to walk away from where you know will not serve you. So the question is, do you have a robust system that helps the people go through flourishing you before you move them to the partnership? So I'm seeing somebody said, absolutely, reason why great divorce too is great. Absolutely. We will even build more on that. So by great divorce, as people get older, you see, you're surprised. Somebody has been 30 years in marriage and they say, I'm not doing anymore. You're like, why? Why? Anyways, let's keep the conversation. So talk to me, what about pillar one really stood out for you? Dorcas said you cannot be intimate with someone you are not vulnerable to. Oh yeah. And that's why it says intimacy, because intimacy must start first from me. I must be the one inviting my partner to come into my world. And if I am not self-aware, I don't even know the world to introduce him to. If there are parts of my world that fill me with shame, I will not open it up. So I need to identify them and heal them so that I'm self-accepting. Not because I like what happened, but hey, it's part of my life journey and it will not continue to define me. And then it's in that place of self-awareness, self-accepting that I can now self-disclose myself to the person. That's where intimacy can grow. So when I see people coming, oh, we are not intimate, I want to know how much of yourselves have you willingly disclosed and what is holding you back from being that. So let's move the conversation. Okay, so that's pillar one. So we're moving to pillar two. So you saw in the animated video where we were talking about the foundation being the individuals. Now, two individuals who have done their personal harmony checks, two individuals. Ernest, I don't want us to go into that conversation. When you say, wow, since divorce is wrong, I don't know. That's not the reason why we're here. Let's stay on Flourishing Marriage Blueprint, because if we start this divorce conversation, we will not finish. But I just want to leave you with a thought. When you say divorce is wrong, so should somebody stay in a marriage that is detrimental to their health and die in it? So is dying in an incompatible marriage, right? That's the only question I have for you whilst we continue on our direction of this class. And if you want to prevent divorce, you should first ensure that your premarital is very transformational, so that if the people have irreconcilable differences, they don't even get married at all. And that's why we had that conversation. If we really want to reduce the rate of divorce across Africa, we need to stop doing mediocre premarital. We need to do premarital that starts from the roots, so that people are able to identify if they themselves and the partnership is strong enough to get into marriage. And that's where pillar two comes in. So the people have looked at their lives, they are growing their sense of desirability, they are increasing their self-awareness, their self-acceptance, and reconnected to the authentic self. Now we have also help them to revisit why they want to get married and why they want to get married to this person, and they are still on track. So we move to the second pillar. The second pillar now being building a team-centered mindset, because we know that two flourishing people, two good people, two responsible people can still get married and have issues, not because they are individually bad, but they are not aligned together. So in premarital, you need to help them check that alignment. So you start off with their team harmony checks. You say you want to get married. What does marriage mean to you? And is there an alignment between what marriage means to man with what marriage means with woman? And before you excuse this and so, oh, this is so basic, everybody knows what marriage is. Oh, for us as faith-based people, marriage is that channel through God procreates and increases the world. If it's in Nigeria, we'll say they play. Are you aware that there are people, even in faith-based, that have different marriage ideologies? I tell you a case of one, even in an institution like that promotes one husband, one wife. And then there was this case of the wife crying because she got a whiff of her husband side chick. And so she was crying, this is not what you promised me, this is not what you promised me, blah, blah, blah. What I bargained for was a monogamous relationship and all of that. And the man, in his defense, said that he kept his vow. And when investigations were made for him to explain what he meant, the man said that monogamy to him means one husband, one wife. And he did not have any intention of marrying the side chick. And so he has not broken monogamy. Meanwhile, in the woman's own perspective, she saw monogamy as one man, one woman. So even in faith-based premarital counseling, which I happen to take in my local assembly, I bring it down to the nitty-gritty. What are you signing up for? Are you doing one husband, one wife? Or are you doing one man, one wife? And please, when people tell you that they are polygamous in nature, don't try to school them. Don't try to say, in our cult now, nowadays, and you are from a Christian background. The person has told you who they are. Why are you trying to redefine them? You are dating somebody and the person has polygamous tendencies. He cannot be with one woman. And you think, oh, when you get married, or they come to you for premarital, you are now telling the man, now that you are getting married, you have to focus on one woman. He has already told you people who he was. And you are choosing not to allow him be who he is and know if you are ready to be with that kind of person. That's the challenge. So they must first align their marriage ideology. One of the things that also aligning marriage ideology does is that it helps the two couples to see the key thing that marriage represents for their partner. Because somebody can say marriage for me is a partnership, blah, blah, blah. Somebody can say marriage for me is where I can get both of us support ourselves. Another person can say marriage for me is an anchor. And the conversation goes on to, so what does anchor mean to you? Because we could have met anywhere. We can be working in the same office. We can be fellowshipping in the same church, but we both don't know what marriage means to us if we don't have that conversation. You cannot assume. Then you move them to their beliefs. What do they believe about the key areas of marriage? Can two work together unless they agree? Are they unequally yoked in some aspects? I told us yesterday that when we expand, do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. An unbeliever simply means somebody who does not believe what you believe. So when it comes to marriage, you need to check, what do they believe about roles and responsibilities? What do they believe about leadership? What do they believe about money? What do they believe about that? Because if the man believes this, A, and the woman believes B, both of them are unbelievers to each other in that aspect, unless they come to harmonize their beliefs. And that's what causes issues in marriage. So they go through you and you marry them off, but you don't critically even know what they believe on the core things that makes marriage work. You have set them up for failure because they came to you trusting that you have the tools to help them prepare. And so you also check their relationship values. In this marriage that we're coming into, what are going to be our values? How are we going to do this relationship so that it's agreed? And of course, they discuss their expectations. And it's always interesting when they are discussing expectations with you as the guide, because you see somebody has some unrealistic expectations, somebody has some expectations that is trauma-based. But because you have the skills, when they bring such expectations, you are able to guide the conversation. But even when you do not even know how to guide the conversation, I've seen somebody say things like, oh, well, in this marriage, because in the templates that we use in the academy, we go down to even discussing how are you going to spend your holidays, how are you going to do extended family and all of that. And in one of them, somebody was saying, oh, when it comes to holidays, oh, we will spend some holidays with my parents. Say, for example, it was the lady saying that. And then the husband-to-be was, oh, that's good. That we might also extend that. And she's like, no, she wasn't open to spending holidays with her husband's extended family, but she wanted, when it was her own turn, everybody plus husband will march to her father's house. And so we had to discuss that. So I'm telling you that expectations is as detailed as that. How are you going to spend your own free time, your own money? Or are we bringing everything together in one bucket? That's very essential. That's the team and money checks. Yesterday, we discussed that premarital was both a science and an art. And over the years, there has been research done on what makes marriage sustainable. There are key marriage sustainability factors that have been identified. So in premarital, you're going to check with them how sustainable their marriage is based on those key factors. Not because if they are not 70% and above, you tell them not to marry. But if they are critically low on some, it is where they need to pay attention. And at the foundation of marriage sustainability checks is what gives the relationship energy, excitement, and ease. There are some people who feel drawn to each other, enjoy each other's company. But when it gets down to practical issues, they can't agree. Why? Because there are some compatibility issues. There are some people that have shared beliefs, shared values, but they just don't vibe together. Somebody is not enjoying somebody's company. They don't have common jokes. They don't have common interests. It's like being in a partnership that is boring. So both chemistry, both compatibility are essential. So you must be able to help them assess where are they in terms of these two key areas. Then you help them evaluate their relationship submission factor. Are you aware that submission is a vital sustainability check? What templates do you use in your premarital to help them check submission factor? Or are you just okay with my wife, submit to your husband, husband love your wife? Do you know that there's a 5-fold dimension to submission? That if one is suffering, is going to hamper on submitting to the one with the leadership mandate? So it's not enough to read scripture. It's not enough to even come blaming somebody when they have issues of, oh, this person is not submitting. Oh, this person is not loving. What do you use to ensure that you can check where they are? So that it's not 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, we're still struggling with this almighty submission that could have been checked in premarital. What of friendship? Friendship is the glue that keeps marriage. And I'm not saying that every premarital couple must be best of friends, but there's a level of friendship that is required that will make marriage work. And if their friendship is very low, you must call their attention in premarital. Because it's friendship that will make you forgive your partner easily. It's friendship that helps conflict to be addressed. It's friendship that will make somebody want to listen to you and do the things that will make you happy because you are a friend and they want to see you happy. It's friendship that will make you do compromises for the general good of the friendship. So if your couples are very low in friendship, you must signal that as a danger zone because it is very important. Of course, it is at this point that you help them. Oh, I need to run. It is at this point that you help them check effective communication and proactive conflict repair strategies. And this is where you begin to give them real-time experiential exercises. That if you understand that communication is a way we want to connect with each other, then there are templates for communication that are very effective. And we have also seen from research that when a couple choose how they want to resolve conflict, even when they don't have any quarrel, when everything is rosy, they are more likely to resolve conflicts better than those who don't even discuss it until the conflict comes. So in the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, in the template, we have a template for how reviewing your arguments. There are a series of things conversations you need to have, bullet points. When you have an argument, this guides you to review the argument so that next time you will argue better. And then subsequently, as you argue better, you see the arguments reducing because you are getting to understand yourself and understand your partner. So these are templates that need to be used. And that is what happens in the flourishing team. Because an effective premarital coach must highlight incompatibilities. If you don't have tools, if you don't have assessments, if you don't have templates that can help the couples identify if they have any incompatibility in their life priorities, in their beliefs, in their values, you are not doing a thorough premarital, because this will come up later in life. And we're not saying just the fact that they have incompatibility, they are doomed. We're saying it is best to find out early and then help them to align it. Come to an alignment of the beliefs, come to the alignment of values, come to the alignment of life priorities. And when it is evident that nobody is ready to make the alignment, you have to let them know the danger of going into the marriage like that. Because it's not your decision to tell them you shouldn't marry, but you should say, if you don't align these areas, it's a potential red flag. And I will keep saying it, a dissolved engagement is better than a miserable marriage. If people are working with you in premarital and they come to realize, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. If this is where you are heading, I'm not ready to go on this journey with somebody like that. Please, you have not failed. It is best they go their separate ways than become another statistic of a failed marriage. And then you provide them with frameworks for practicing relationship building skills, for example, conflict resolution. So I'll wrap up this and we'll move on to the next session. What your premarital is also an opportunity for your clients to have hot conversations. See, there is a lot of pretense for people who are not reconnected to the authentic self. But with your guidance, they are able to discuss relationship turn-offs. What are those mannerisms, those habits that your intending partner has that irritates you? Maybe before somebody was shy or somebody was like, I don't know how to bring it up, or let the person not think I'm judging them. Thankfully, they now have you as the moderator. And if you create a safe space, they are able to discuss it. What of deal breakers? How do you coach them to handle secrets? And then they discuss even their medical compatibilities. Are you aware that some people are in marriages suffering emotional stress because they did not know that the vital medical compatibility test to do? One of the ones that break my heart is the resource factor test, where if they had a knowledgeable premarital coach who tells them to go and check your resource factor, such that if one person is positive, the other person is negative, by the time they take in for their first pregnancy, there is an injection or whatever that they will give so that the body does not continue to see it as an antibody. We have seen couples who have ectopic pregnancy, who have, what they call that? oh, I can't remember the name now, when they lose the baby. And then it takes an emotional toll on them simply because of ignorance. But they came to premarital, but nobody told them because even the premarital coach was ignorant. And then, of course, you help them discuss their relationship health and map their happy. So that is what for flourishing us, effective premarital, please, you must give your clients problem-solving skills and working tools. Take, for example, one of the tools we use, but time will not permit me to talk about it now, is the wheel of marital bliss, where they are able to see their levels of satisfaction in the different things that make marriage work. And they grade it, and then it serves as a coaching tool. What this will do if they work with you because you have the skill is even when they have finished premarital with you, they can still 6 months later, 1 year later, bring out this tool and use it to still assess where they are. Because you did not just talk at them, you gave them problem-solving skills and you gave them working tools that they can now use on their own to review their relationship periodically and create self-initiated steps. I'm going to pause here and invite Yinka to just, do a little bit of taking what we're learning and call on the people who have some stuff to share while I take a sip of water and we will continue the conversation. It's Yinka there. If Yinka is not okay, all right. Yinka, please come on and
Yes, I'm here. And I don't know if the second, okay, we have the second testifier in the house, and I'm going to be calling on Olubumi Adesina. Olubumi Adesina, please unmute yourself. Thank you for joining us at this time. We'd like to hear your testimony of how it's.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you
And,
for joining us.
I'm Mrs. Bumi Adesina, CEO of Marriage with Harmony. First, I'd like to thank Team Nedum and Dima for creating the Flourishing Marriage Blueprints. Enrolling in this course is one of the best investments in my journey as a marriage coach because it exceeded my expectations. Our vision in Marriage with Harmony is to reduce divorce rates. And in order to achieve that, there's need for us to be able to help people get it right before the day they will say, I do. And that was what made me enroll in this course in order to gain adequate knowledge. Despite the fact that I was already a professional, but I knew that I still needed to gain more knowledge. And I am so glad that I did. The marriage, this course did not only, I did not only gain that knowledge through the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint, it equipped me, with practical assessments, coaching tools, and a structured counseling system that I started using immediately. In fact, as soon as I started, the course, I just started using it because it was just too much. It was more than what I thought I was going to get. And within 2 months of completing my course, the training, I was able to confidently launch out, more than ever before, more than all I thought I could do, even since January. That confidence came because I knew that I was not just working on anything, but on proven, blueprints. And my clients, they have really been enjoying this process. And that is why I want to say that this Flourishing Marriage Blueprint is a game changer for anyone who is passionate about preparing people for healthy and lasting, marriages, and to those who desire to coach with impact, with clarity, and that grace. This is a game changer. And I want to say that anyone who invests here, you can never regret it. I am not regretting it. I've become empowered. And once again, I want to thank Team Nedum and Dima for creating this flourishing marriage blueprint, practical, impactful, and transformational, course. And I'm so grateful to God for this transformation in my life, in my brand. And I know that God will bless and increase you more and more. Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your testimony. Indeed, this blueprint is a game changer. There is supposed to be another Nana Benyiwa. Are you in the house? We have another testifier. But in the
Yes, I
meantime,
am.
oh, thank you for joining
Um,
us. Thank
yeah.
you for joining us. Please, we are waiting for your testimony. Tell us how this blueprint has changed your practice, changed your life, and the impact on your clients. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Nana Benyua Dugwe. I'm Ghanaian. I joined this course because I wanted to learn how to be a more effective premarital coach. But I found out that it's impacted me first greatly. There are lots of practical exercises we have to do. And it's important that we do them so that when we meet our clients, we know what we are talking about. So I'll give you an example. We did the attachment style, and that is when I realized that for all these years, there was still some childhood trauma that I had to heal from. And I said, wow, this could be a client. We also did a strengths test, which was very revealing for me. And now I know my core strengths. I know when I'm overusing my strengths. I know when I'm underusing my strengths. What I want to say is that this course cuts across faith, religion, tribe, race, everything. So if you want to be an impactful coach, premarital, to make an impact, the skills you will get here, there aren't enough words to describe them. I'm so grateful, Team Netu and Dima, for this course. And I must say that I have not regretted one bit. I have not regretted the investment. I've not regretted the time. I'm still a trainee, but I am more confident now. Thank you, and God bless you, this team.
So much, Nana. That was truly life-changing. Thank you for that testimony. I have also been a student and I've used this blueprint, and I can tell you it begins with you. You will first of all be transformed as a coach. And just like Nana said, it's much easier to help your clients go through the same transformation because you know what you're doing and you can identify with them. This time, I'm going to bring on Dima again because it's time for us to go to the final session. Dima. Are you with me? Dima. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure. Maybe
Nedum is on already.
oh, good evening, Nedum. You're welcome. Okay, right about now, I am handing you over to the capable hands of Nedum Nwobi. That is the other partner in Team Dima Nedum. You're welcome, Nedum. Please, over to you. We are waiting. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Yinka, for the wonderful presentations and coordinating of this program yesterday and today. And if you are here, just tell me how you feel learning in this platform, the amazing things Dima has been teaching, your opportunity to add more to what you already know, and how you are feeling about day 2. So I want to see your energy. I want to send emoji on how you feel so far. And as we continue this program, I want you to go to the chat room and tell me immediately 1 or 2 reasons why do marriages struggle in their early years. What do you think? Being a marriage counselor, a marriage coach, or you are just here for the first time listening to us, why do marriages struggle in their early years? Go to the chat room. Let me hear your comments. Let's do that quickly. Yes, I feel so fortunate to have come across this awesome workshop. Thank you, Grace, for saying that. So let it come. Why do you think? Why do you think a lot of marriages struggle? They fight for divorce, they separate, they feel very uncomfortable, incompatible in the early years before sometimes they now begin to go into a level of stability. Okay, not knowing each other and who they are. Okay, good. Poor premarital counseling by Amos. Ellen says, okay, Bernard says, very impactful and happy to be here. Thank you. Discovering their authentic selves. Good. Because couples will be trying to learn and understand each other. Good. Okay, why do couples fail? Why do marriages fail? Why do they struggle? Any other person who is willing to keep sharing? Lack of deep, inadequate understanding of themselves, coming into marriage with mental baggages. Yes, marrying for the wrong reasons, poor alignment. Good. Who else? Okay. Because they struggle. Good, good. I love that. Okay. All your reasons are valid, and I'm so grateful that we know and we experience a lot of that. And so quickly, because time is not on our side, let's go to the 3rd pillar. You have heard the first pillar, you've seen the second pillar, and this is the 3rd pillar. And the 3rd pillar is flourishing system. Flourishing system. Co-creating flexible family system. Your seen pillar 1 has to deal with you as a person, the flourishing person. Pillar 2, the flourishing us. Pillar 3 is now the flourishing system. According to Michael Daber, it says system permit ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results predictably. And so when you have understand pillar 1 and understand pillar 2, how do you align these things together? How do you create it to become an institution? How do you bring it together for them to be able to produce good outcome at the end? So imagine you are in a warehouse and the primary purpose of a vehicle is to transfer goods and services and people from one place to the other. And in that warehouse, you have the engine one side, the chassis another side, the steering another side, the car seat another side. In as much as all these parts of a vehicle is in a warehouse, without integration, without coupling, it cannot serve the primary purpose of a vehicle of moving goods and persons from one place to the other. Imagine your body. you have the digestive system, the reproductive system, you have the skeletal system, you have the nervous system. The reason why your body is functioning is because all these systems are aligned together, working cooperatively to make life easy for you. And so when we talk about family system, it is simply how a family organizes its ideas, his vision, his mission, his beliefs, his ideas to achieve and become a reality. So with that system, life will be miserable. With that system, life will be filled with chaos. With that system, make it easy to manage the family, to manage the home front will be very easy, because making decisions every day with the things that confronts the couples, with the pressure of life alone, will create chaos out of that family. So the reason why there's so much chaos is not because the couples do not like themselves, it's because they haven't created a pattern, an operating system, a guideline, a way that will make decision making possible for them. And that is the reason why this third pillar is very important. The question you'll be asking, what constitutes these family systems? What constitutes these family systems? Here are the systems that constitute it: the governance system, the communication system, the education system, the domestic management system, fund and creation system, security and immigration system, wellness and health system, culture integration system, and legacy system. So I will take a few of them in order to drive home what we are trying to imply in this third pillar, the flourishing system. So let me take the governance system. Of course, there is a structure when 2 or 3 people form a family. How will decision making be taken in that family? Who makes the decisions? How do you arrive to decision process? Imagine a family where the decision making has to do with finance. Who concludes that? Who makes that possible? Is it because of their competence? Is it because he's a male? Is it because he's the breadwinner? Is it because he's skilled in that area? And so if you don't agree on how you have meetings, decide who should make final decisions, depending on the area, there will be a fight from day one, because you have not structured how leadership process is going to take place. So every institution must have a leader. Every organization must have a leader. So there must be a structure of how rules and regulation should be engaged. Who determines that in that system? So when you are helping them to create their family system, they must determine that. Education system. What will be the level of education and conversation with the family? If they are going to talk about children upbringing, which schools are they going to attend? If they want to do about career advancement, what kind of education and pursuit they must engage? If it is skill acquisition, in what area? So these are some of the ways that everything about the person and about the family is structured in such a way that is highly organized, effective, and producing the right result. Let me take, for example, the domestic management system. Because you are managing a home, there are rules and domestic activities that must take place in that home. Of course, who does the cooking? Who goes to the market? Who cleans the house? Who washes the car? Who fuels the car? These little minor things can be a great area of disagreement based on time, based on interest, based on availability. Because some of these things could be gender-based. Some could be just anybody available could do it. We have seen families, and even in counseling session, where a man decided to be hungry because the wife is returning late from a work, probably a banking work, and there's already food in the fridge, but he said as a man, he will not go to the kitchen to cook. And therefore, he stabbed himself till 9 p.m. And that became a huge problem. So these things don't fall or cast on stone just because you have love. It functions because there's a process and there's a system. Let me look at the wellness and health system. How do you ensure that the family is healthy? The food they eat, exercising, fun, all these things are important, but it will not happen without a plan. And so family system is how this family look at entirely all this process and put a system, a structure, an agreement around it, having roles and responsibility shared among the members, and they know this is how we represent this family. This is how we will do in this family. This is what differentiates us from other families. Having in mind their goals, their vision, and their core values integrated in this system. And finally, I will touch on the legacy system. Every family have a reason of existence. So legacy is how you want to show up, how you want to be viewed in the world. What will be your contribution to this world? You don't just exist as a family to occupy a space. You are in this world for a purpose, for a vision. How do you create that impact? What funding mechanism will you use? How do you contribute within your society and even your living environment? It hasn't just to be by instinct. It has to be a structural process so that both of you can align your ideas, your shared visions, and commonly have a preferred future that is desirable. And so if you are still here with me, looking at this system, do you think it is something that you need to integrate in your PMC? And effective PMCs must teach the intending couples proactive systems mentality. Some of us are angry that nothing works in Nigeria. Nothing works in your local government. Nothing works in your state. In fact, everything is in chaos. But what we are begging for is a structure. The same thing, the same way happens in most families. Because without structure, they will be constantly be in chaos. So proactive system mentality is to bring structure and ease of living by allowing these intended couples to discuss their strategies to run their family efficiently without losing themselves. Every family is unique. Every marriage is unique. So you are not telling them or imposing them what systems and the type of system they must have and what constitutes those systems. But they have to look inward by their own design and what they want to achieve. They will find a way of what works for them and what is unique for them. Have you reviewed your premarital practice? Have you reviewed your premarital practice? This is the question I want you to share in the just share in the chat. Share it in the chat. So Dima is coming back to continue from that. Okay.
Okay, so let me see what's in the chat room. The review began yesterday after. Okay, kindly let's have the link. So yes, you will get access to the link. So let's wrap up this conversation. So yes, so talk to me. We have successfully from yesterday, but more importantly today, looked at the 3 pillars. Now I want us to be very vulnerable. Is the science and act of premarital coaching fully active in your practice? If you were to share with us, like in the chat room, which of these pillars do you think that you need to pay attention to? Which of these 3 pillars do you think that, oh, in my practice, I think it's pillar 1 that I need to pay more attention to? I think it's pillar 2. I think it's pillar 3. Or if you think that you don't even have processes for the 3 pillars, come to the chat room and let us know. If you think that, oh, my premarital is robust enough, I have systems in place for all 3, please also come to the chat room and let us know. Whether you are here on Zoom or you are on YouTube, let us know. Somebody says, the 3 pillars, pillar 3, 1 and 3, all 3, pillar 1. I need to work on the 3 pillars. I've learned a lot. Fantastic. Okay. So let me remind you from our conversation yesterday that premarital coaching is both a science and an art. And if you were struggling to answer that question, if the science and the art are really active in your practice, I want to remind you to look at these 4 things. Number 1, your coaching presence. Do you have the skills to embody a safe space coaching presence where people can be vulnerable with you, they can willingly participate in the process, and you are able to integrate intrinsic motivation to keep them wanting to do the process? That is one question with regards to the art of it, how to coach it, how to lead them to facilitate deep awareness, healing, meaningful connections, and behavioral change that is lasting. Secondly, personal harmony. Do you have relevant assessment tools and techniques that can help you improve the individual participants, their wholeness? What this is checking is, do you have the tools, the skills, and the relevant assessment to activate pillar 1 for them? The next one is, do you have the tools, assessment, and techniques to help improve mutual alignment? Pillar 2, does your process have the tools to assess and strengthen team alignment? Can you help them check their marriage sustainability factor now, so that if there are loopholes, you can coach them to fill it and have hot conversations? And lastly, do you have proven templates that you can help the couple design their strategies for doing life together? Nidum was talking about the systems. There are about 10 of them. But what practically their methodology for doing marriage? If you have that, fine. If you don't have it and you want to get it, so Integrity said, I don't have the assessment techniques. Joker said, I'm better equipped now. Okay. And then I see some people saying, okay, how do I get trained? How do I get to understand those blueprints? And I think some of our alumni have come in and shared their experience. Because like I said to us yesterday, we have one goal in Start Your Marriage Right Academy. It is to provide indigenous, number 1, African-based for Africans, whether they are in Africa living or they are living in the diaspora. And we want to have indigenous research and evidence-based premarital coaching. That's what we're providing. And then we are committed to raising equipped and effective premarital coaches so that they can help people to save their marriages from the start, hence our name, Start Your Marriage Right. We are so committed. Somebody was asking, oh, what if people didn't do this and they're already married? What can be done? these same blueprints can be used for marriage mentoring. But we are advocating that why wait till the people have gone through emotional pain, till things have gone bad? Can we begin to help them from the very start so that they are starting on a strong foundation and eliminate or reduce to a very large extent the risk of divorce and the risk of unhappy marriages where people are just there and are not enjoying the essence of it, which is why the premarital game changer is the ultimate done for you premarital coach, mentor, training, and licensing program. Let me take a moment to explain what done for you means. So over the past of yesterday and today, we started to talk about, the science and art, and then we introduced you to the Flourishing Marriage Blueprint. Now I'm seeing some people saying, oh, now I know what to do better, and I'm happy for you, and I'm glad that you already know that there are areas you need to improve on. Now think about you not having to go through the stress of gathering these materials, of gathering whatever relevant assessment. Imagine that this Flourishing Marriage Blueprint has already been designed with the assessment you need to give, the exercises you need to give, the reflective questions you need to give to your premarital clients from the first engagement they have with you to the end, so that you are able to help them go through pillar 1, go through pillar 2, go through pillar 3. That's what a done for you means. It means that this science, this art of premarital has been incorporated into a framework that all you need to do is to get trained in it, and you take the handbook where it has been divided. This Flourishing Marriage Blueprint, we deliver it over 12 modules, and it is delivered over 12 weeks. Some people have asked me, what's the duration of premarital? Is 3 weeks enough? Is 6 weeks enough? Based on the research that we've done, it is very important that you don't rush through premarital. And if you understand the 3 pillars we have taken, you will see that you require some amount of time to go through each of them. So this is a 12-week premarital coaching framework. And what you do with the clients on week 1, starting first from Flourishing You, week 1 is there. You get to know the coaching objective, the objective of week 1, the exercises they're doing, the reflective questions to ask them, the relevant assessment, and you get your facilitator guide. That's what a done for you means. It means no hassles. You don't need to stress yourself. You just sit in, because like I told you, there is an urgency to populate Africa with effective transformational premarital. And that is that task that we have taken on in the academy. So that's what that means. Permit me to just share this with you so that you understand when I say it's a done for you, let it not just be, oh, these are the coaches. What are the people who have taken it? Do they consider it a done for you? And after this, I will share with you how you can take the training, and something that you would not want to miss if you have stayed on till this time.
Felt like a PhD student, going through this program. Number one was the fact that it was the person it was coming from, the person behind the program. It's somebody I know that you can always get quality and substance from. So Dima, okay, so I was interested. The second thing was done for you. Done for you. See, some of us, we don't like the digging. Get it done. Is it working? Yes, with evidence. We want to grab it and run with it. And I think I'm that kind of a person. Done for. So that got me interested. And guess what? It is absolutely done for. No stress. No stress. It's also impacted me as a person, in that I saw some things that had been, lying about, something playing out, and I was able to put my finger on where that was coming from. Talk about attachment styles. I discovered that the relationship I had with my dad, had been playing out in some ways that I didn't understand. And now I understand it very well. And I'm working on that, to address it absolutely and completely, because it's been amazing. I would recommend it 1,000 times to anybody all over. Even there are some persons that have been wondering, what can I do with my life? What do I do with my life? I'm recommending this to them also. So once again, thank you for this indeed done for you course. It's been elaborate, meticulously put together, and the sections were wahoo. Every section was beautiful.
Okay, so you've heard from, I think that's Yin Layefa Adeleke talking about the ultimate done for you. So let me share with you quickly, what is the pathway to you becoming true, certified, and a licensed premarital coach, such that you are able to use this transformational premarital coaching blueprint. Within 12 weeks, we're going to train you plus your graduation. And this is what you're going to get. Number one, the blueprint. We have been talking about the pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3. You will get trained on the complete blueprint and what it means, why it's important, and all of that. Remember, I did say yesterday that science would answer what to coach and why to coach that. So when you get trained to understand the blueprint, you understand what you're coaching and why you are coaching that. That's number one. That's the holistic blueprint of the flourishing marriage blueprint. Number two, you will get the framework, and I will explain what the framework means. Techno, I will take your answers, your questions, pardon me, when I'm done on this slide, okay? Number two, the framework. When I mean the framework, this blueprint is a blueprint of how to build a flourishing marriage, right? Then we have broken it down into a premarital coaching framework, which is the 12 weeks module, broken down with each week. This is what you're taking them through. This is the session objective. These are the reflective questions. These are the coaching questions. Because I know yesterday somebody asked, oh, how do I know how to ask powerful, open-ended questions? We have already included that in this framework, such that it is there. The questions to ask them has already been done, and it is created as powerful, open-ended. Of course, as you use it, your skill to ask such questions will also grow. But so that you don't start thinking, what should I ask? We have removed the stress from you. We have asked the questions relevant for that. Then we don't just give you the blueprint and the framework. We will train you. It's a 12 weeks training. So in the training, it means that every week, what we are training you on is what to do with your clients every week. So the training is also 12 weeks because we are reviewing one module every week. So you see how intentional it is. So when Yin Layefa was saying it was meticulously structured, that is exactly what it is. Then you get to join the Start Your Marriage Right Coaches community. We have a community. You've seen Yinka, who moderated, is a member of the community. You've seen members of the community who have come to share the experiences. We have hundreds of coaches in the community from all over Africa. We have people from Grenada, we have community members from Zambia, from Zimbabwe, from South Africa, from Ghana, from Nigeria. You just name it. It's an African movement. And that's what you also get to belong to. Then we know that, okay, it's not just enough to train you for 12 weeks. How do you get to practice this? So there is that mentoring component of it. When after your 12 weeks training, we have already designed what you will do to go to the field and practice this. There are people who have taken this training that have never been on social media. They have never done a video. They have never told anybody about premarital. But because of this mentoring, they are supposed to go and, teach about what they have learned. And we already have curated the topics and the guidelines for you to do it. All you need to do is just show up, open your mouth and speak. And now you're not speaking from a place of low confidence. You already have been trained. So it's just for you to grow your skills. And you listen to Bumi say that 2 months after the training, she was already firing on all cylinders, was able to do a program, and is currently getting clients into our own private practice. The last one, the platform. What we mean by the platform is that there are people who right now, they don't have a platform. When I mean they don't have a platform, they don't have maybe a website, they don't have any system in place where they deliver premarital, but they are passionate about delivering premarital. Whilst you are not under any compulsion to use the Start Your Marriage Right Academy, we can train you and you go and use it on your platform. Remember, the goal is to populate, invade Africa with transformational premarital coaching. But for some people are like, oh, I want to be able to practice this thing whilst I'm trying to build my platform. But you see what? I'm already in retirement. I don't want the hassles of doing what do you call it, technology and all that. I just want to fulfill my dream of teaching people. We have such opening. You can teach premarital on the Academy's platform and still be paid your facilitation fee. So you have no hiding place. You won't say, I can't go and build platform. How do I use these skills? We have a system for you to use it on the Academy platform as a trained and certified coach. Again, I'm saying that is not the only way to use it. It's a provision we made for people who are really passionate but do not yet have their own platform or do not want to go through the hassles of building their platform. We accommodate our coaches on our platform and they still get paid their facilitation fees. And I can tell you, I don't know any training institute across Africa that has such a platform for their coaches. If you know any, come and tell me. All right. So one of the things that you would get, so remember, if you looked at the blueprint, you see that there are 3 distinct pillars. And by the time you take this training, you will know how you can support your clients to create these 3 pillars. After your clients have gone through premarital with you, what you actually end up doing with them is activating their flourishing marriage. And there are 3 essential documents for that. Number 1, their personal intimacy playbook. You would guide them to create it because you've been trained on how to create it. And the personal intimacy playbook is like the climax of pillar 1. Number 2, their family mandate guide. That's the climax of pillar 2. By the time they unify or align their agreeability, work on their marriage sustainability index, you now help them create their family mandate guide. And that is like the climax of pillar 2. Then when you use the template you would get for pillar 3, you are not doing any work when it comes to the systems. Everything you need has already been done. You want to get them to set their government system. We already have coaching scripts that you can use. Set any system you are setting, the script is there, the methodology to follow is there. You just plug and play. And at the end of it, they create their family systems guidebook. That is when you would say to yourself that you have done a thorough premarital and you have helped them activate a flourishing marriage. And that's what it is. Then there's one question people keep asking me. And to be honest, when we started this certification training, we didn't have this in place. But I saw people after doing the training, what's happening? You're not practicing. And they're like, oh, I don't know how to monetize this. Are you sure this will make money? Are you sure? And then I'm like, okay, if we have been in this practice for years, even before we started the certification program, we decided to include as part of what you get. Now, this 90 days roadmap is not at the 12 weeks. When you complete your 12 weeks of training, you now download the 90 days roadmap. And I can guarantee you, this has been meticulously done based on how we also do our business. And we have not only told you how family life business is done, we have given you a roadmap broken into 90 days. That is 3 months. And each of the week 1, we tell you what you're supposed to do to grow your audience. Week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. And if you follow that 90-day roadmap, you are guaranteed to make at least your first 1 million naira. And I'm speaking in naira, you can convert it to your currency, working with 10 premarital couples. Because the least any trained person in this flourishing married blueprint should charge for deploying this blueprint is nothing less than 100,000 naira per the couple. I mean the couple, the man, the fiancé and the fiancée together as a couple. And if you do, even if it is only 10 people, that's what it is. And this is a bulletproof, money back guaranteed roadmap that if you follow it is guaranteed to deliver. So you don't have any question of, oh, will this thing make money if it's because you want to do it as a practice? You don't have any question of, oh, how will I understand this thing? I've told you, we not only give you the blueprint, the framework, the training, you join the community, you get mentoring, and even if worse comes to worse, you are not able to build your platform yet, you still have a place where you can do premarital. So tell me, what else do you need to become an effective premarital coach? If there's anything you think you need that this training does not provide, please tell me. Please, Lady Kate, can you unmute yourself and share this? Are you where your video can come on? Yes. I need you to share this. You've not told me this, so you've not come to pay prophet offering, no. So I think maybe let me be exposing all of you here. So quickly, just share what you shared in the chat room so that I can share with them how they can join this next batch. Okay.
Okay, good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so this 90 days roadmap is one thing that really helped me to get my first client, a couple that paid for one-on-one coaching 250K. And how did it start? The moment I finished, I started doing my assignment on that 90 days roadmap. And by the time I got to the second part of it, right? By the time I started, got to the second part of it, which is the second the first part is 30 days. After the 30 days, when I got to the second part of it, which is the 60 days, that was when I did one TikTok. I did a topic on TikTok, and that topic was something that brought the client, and the client saw me and said, and now came to my inbox and started telling me about the issues they were having. And for the first time, I was confident enough to send 250K as my as my coaching fee. And the guy did not even send it. He just said, drop your account number. I didn't believe it. Immediately I dropped my account number. He just said, you have Nigeria account number? I said, yes. He just gave it to me and he paid. I didn't believe it. Like, I'm like, is this me? Before, I was managing 100K for such, but I was able to do 250K. And that coaching lasted for just 4 weeks. And the 4 weeks is just 4 sessions because it's one session per week. So we just had 4 sessions and I collected my 250K. And it was a transformational journey because I also used the blueprint to help them to see clearly the issues they were having as at that time, because their marriage was just less than 1 year and they were having issues on how to master each other, and we're able to use it to give them, first of all, we discovered a lot of things about the husband's background, the wife's background, and we're able to, bring them to a place where they need to understand that they don't have to bleed on each other. And at the end of the day, they understood that what they were fighting wasn't even their fight. They were actually fighting their parents' fight. And we're able to get them to build a system that is working for them, especially around finance, around the issues of leadership, submission, and all that. And today they are so happy. In fact, they are the ones referring people to me. You know, most of them are in the UK, and they are the ones, you know, they are my ambassador as I speak to you. So everybody on this call, I want to tell you that even if you have not made 1 naira, just take this course. But I must warn you, entering this course, if you're not ready to work, it will stretch you. But trust me, if you are able to follow it through, I'm sure that your coaching career will change automatically and people will begin to look for you because you're going to establish authority as a premarital coach. Thank you, Coach Dima. I can't do without you guys. You and your team. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kate Eze, for that. Thank you so much. And when I see people who have gone through the training and they are actually breaking grounds, not only locally, but across Africa and Africans in the diaspora, it's just what makes the whole journey so worth it. So the very last batch of the training is going to be starting when? August 17th. That's the last batch of 2026 until next year. So if you want to be trained, and it's batch 9. So if you want to be trained in this blueprint and understand it, you just have all roads leading here. Now, if you're going to be honest with yourself, what do you think that a training like this should cost? How much should a training institute train for this, giving you not only the blueprint, done for you with the mentoring, with the 90 days blueprint. You see, Kate Eze, under how many months she had been, and I wanted her to even talk more about what she's doing, but you know, it's okay. So right now, in 2026, what we currently, the fee for this training is a 500,000 naira, which will come to about 375 in USD. That is what you would pay to take this training, get your handbook, get the mentoring, get everything that we have said that this will do for you. However, I see that some of you have stayed till the end. You've attended this. Please, the training is completely virtual. That's why we have had people from across Africa, even people who live in UK, in Canada, in Europe, in Asia, participating in the training. It's not a physical training. Everything is virtual. Everything is virtual, all right? So if you are at this masterclass, you have this one-time opportunity. For being in this masterclass, you have a 72-hour deal, and it is in 2 ways. Remember, the original fee is a 500,000. But for being here and you make payment within the next, somebody said to me, this is supposed to be 48 hours. I'm like, leave it, 72, it's the heart of the vision. So it's either you make a one-time payment of 400,000 or you choose to make a flexible payment. So even the flexible, we have 2 options. Is either you want a 2 installments. If you are making 2 installments, there is something you pay 2 installments of 225. If you want to pay in 3 installments, you are okay. Our members of alumni can tell you, even there are people in training right now that are still making their payment plan because we want this to spread. I don't want somebody to say, I wish I could have done this, but I didn't have all the money. Now we have given you an opportunity to get in. Either you're paying one time 400 or you're paying 2 times or 3 times 450 so that you don't get to pay 500. And believe you me, our alumni can tell you After 72 hours, the price goes back to what it is originally. So please don't dull. Don't wait till the last minute. And for couples here, as you can see, the leadership of the Start Your Marriage Right Academy is a couple, my husband and I. Now, disclaimer, we are not saying that if you are not a couple, you cannot have effective premarital. You can, because now you have seen that it is not your personal experience you're teaching. You have seen that passion is not enough, that it is a science and an art. And even a single person who has never been in marriage but studies the science and art, takes this training, can become an effective premarital coach even without being married. So it's not about our experience. But because we're a couple team, we kind of also have a little bit of bias around couple teams. And so if a couple wants to take the training, you are not paying the full amount of each person. We have a discount. The second spouse will get a 50% discount, but it just means that both of you will take the training in the same batch. So whether you're an individual or you are a couple, you get your discount. So please, if you want to lock in your slot now, come to this and scan this discount code. It will take you straight to Ifunanya, and Ifunanya will give you every details that you need. And whilst I was speaking, I'm sure I saw somebody who said I had questions. So if you have your questions, please put it in the chat room, or you can put up your virtual hand and I will call you to ask your question. While I'm waiting for the question, I will just give some insight as to how the program will run. Yes, it is fully virtual. Yes, it is 12 weeks plus 1 week of your graduation, which is also virtually, and you get to invite your loved ones to your graduation. What else? Yes, training days is on Wednesdays, 7 to 9 p.m. West African time. Yes, the training classes are recorded, and then you will get access to the replay. Yes, you have access to the Academy's learning portal where you will take your classes. There are some pre-recorded videos you are supposed to watch weekly. You watch the one for that week, then we come into class and we discuss it and you ask your questions. I don't know if you have any other questions you want to ask me, please feel free to ask. And if you want to lock down your 72-hour deal, scan this QR code. There was somebody who said I had a question. So are you here with your question now? So how long does the session take? Do you mean the training sessions for this? It is, I said 7 to 9 p.m. West African time. It is maximum of 2 hours. That's what the session takes. But if you are referring to, if you are doing a premarital session with a client, please do not exceed 90 minutes, which is 1 hour, 30 minutes. But for the training, we extend it to maximum 2 hours so that if you have questions, you can take it. But the days we finish and 1 hour, 30 minutes we do. But most times, because people are enthusiastic and are asking questions, it can go to 2 hours, but we do not like the sessions to exceed 2 hours. Any question for me? Do we have question from YouTube? Is there somebody here who has a question? Please let me know. Okay. Please, can I know the wrong reasons to get married? That's not the conversation for today. If you want to help people marry so that they don't marry for the wrong reasons, please register to take the training. The time we have here before we end this is less than 5 minutes, and I will not be answering that question now. Okay. Is it everyday cost? No, I said the training is every Wednesday for 12 weeks. We're starting August 17th. 12 Wednesdays from August 17th is your training days, but you have access to the Academy online portal where the course is hosted. So you can watch it at your convenience, but we encourage that you show up in class so that you understand the blueprint and the framework. Do I have any other question, or are we done? And how many of you am I seeing in class come August 17th? Lumbabe said, I'm in Zambia. Lumbabe, you see those links that were shared? You can click on any of those payment options that you see there. And once you click on any payment options that you want, whether you are paying one time or you are paying the flex deal, if you click there, it takes you to a payment platform, and the payment platform will accept your card. So it doesn't matter where you are. So long as you click there, you can make payment. It will convert it to your own currency, and you can pay and register. And once you pay, we get your details and you will be enrolled in the course. So what else? What other question do I have? Can this premarital be virtually done with my clients? Yes, of course, you can do premarital virtually. In fact, myself and most of the coaches who have been trained in this blueprint offer virtual premarital. That is my first point of call. I don't remember the last time. In fact, since COVID, I have not done a physical premarital class. All my premarital classes since COVID has been virtual, and they have been effective. So it's not really about whether you're seeing the people in a proximate way. It's about the skills you have, the science and the art that you're deploying. Evelyn says, when are we starting next training? August 17th, but please don't wait till August 17th to sign up, because that will mean that you will pay the full price. If you want to join the training August 17th, it is better for you that you pay, you log down your time now, either using any of the 72 hours payment window, or you chat Ifunanya if you need more details. What else am I seeing there? Candice, is it done every day known? Okay, I think I've answered all the questions. Somebody said, how is the graduation going to be? I'm in Zambia. Both the course and the graduation are done virtually. You are not coming physically for anything. So even your graduation is done virtually. So you can join the graduation from Zambia. You can join it from anywhere that you want. Ify said, would really love to join the training, but the fee is kind of high for me. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Ify. I would recommend, if you feel that this is something you need to do, maybe you should charge yourself to start saving towards it, because we have 3 batches in 2027. So if you start putting money aside now, you get to take the training in 2027. Felicia, yes, you can pay after 72 hours, but you will no longer be paying the masterclass deal. After 72 hours, you will be paying 500,000 naira or its equivalent. But if you pay within 72 hours, that's an incentive for people who are here. So it doesn't mean that after 72 hours, you cannot register. No, please don't misunderstand us. We are just giving you a bonus, so that your time that you have spent with us for these 2 days will be worth it. So if you want to register 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, you can, but you'll be paying the full price and not the discounted price. I think we've answered all of the questions. I think it's been great that we're spending time here. Like I said, this is the last batch of the year. Next year, we'll come in with other batches. But if you want to enter 2027 fully equipped, I want you to know that a thriving and effective premarital coaching practice is possible. And together we can save marriages, we can save families, we can save our nation, we can save Africa as a whole through effective family life solutions. Lauren said, how recognized is the certificate? The certificate is recognized. And right now we are working on getting some affiliations with some international bodies. So like I said, intimacy is you being authentic enough to share what the reality is. So I'm not going to be telling you what is not obtainable. There are some affiliations we're working on, but the certificate, yes, it can be presented, it can be used. We've had our practitioners in the UK, particularly, who wanted to sign up for a postgraduate stuff and presented the certificate and the field work she did. And that was part of what she needed to demonstrate the hours of practice in a counseling coaching field. So yes, it is recognized and you can use it anywhere. Back to you, Yinka, to take the final words. And I look forward to seeing all of you in class on the 17th of August. Yinka, you're muted.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Dima. And thank you everyone for staying up till the end. And as an alumni of this academy, I encourage you to not miss this opportunity. It's a life-changing opportunity. It changes you, it changes your client, it changes your practice. And on behalf of the Academy and Team Dima Nedum, the convener of this webinar, I want to thank you all for showing up. I want to thank you all for engaging fully. Thank you for committing to being among the saviors and transformers of the Africa's premarital coaching space. And on this note, it's a wrap. We look forward to seeing you in class. And thank you all for joining us. Have a very good evening. Thank you. Have an amazing week ahead. And please make good use of these 72-hour discounts. Thank you.